Good afternoon, Colin here with Techout, and today we're going to be talking about the Visible Plus Pro plan that I switched to last week when it came out. And we've had a lot of people talking about on Reddit, what exactly is unlimited and how unlimited is it? Well, I've seen a couple people, specifically one on X, who's been running some tests where you only get, he got to about 450 gigabytes in 8 hours and then realized his speed was limited to about 4 megabits per second up and down. He contacted support and I guess they removed the limit and he continued doing that and he got to about 900 gigabytes and the same thing happened. So about every 450, he was being speed limited. And a lot of people were like, well, that's not unlimited. If you're only getting 450, 500 gigabytes, then it's a 500 gigabyte plan. And they don't specify a certain amount of data that you can use, but their terms of service do say that if you abuse the service or if you use the service in a way that prevents other users from having a good experience, or you're slowing down others because you're just slamming the network with data, pointlessly, then they have the right to limit you, suspend your service, or cancel your service. So it is an unlimited plan in a sense that there's no set limit. But if you do something that's going to abuse that, then they do have the right, per the terms of service, to, like I said, slow, cancel, or suspend your service. And 450 gigabytes in 8 hours, just running speed test over and over again, just doing large downloads just constantly, is definitely going to fall under abuse of service. That's not normal usage for anybody. Nobody on a cellular plan, at least a consumer cellular plan, should be, I don't mean consumer cellular, the brand, I mean consumer as in, not a business plan, not a, enterprise, anything like that. But a plan for consumers like that is not meant for somebody to be, downloading hundreds of gigabytes an hour just constantly. That's not falling within normal usage. So that would fall under, abuse of the service. They also say that you can't do anything to your device or do any workarounds so that you can use your service for a home internet replacement. They have an unlimited hotspot plan that is included with the Pro Plus plan for 15 megabits down. And that is for mobile usage only. They do say in there, and it's said in there before this plan, that you cannot use this as a home internet replacement. Doing that is a reason for them to terminate your service. And when T-Mobile came out with home internet, 5G home internet, 4G home internet, stuff like that, they were only doing this in areas where the towers could handle, a lot of people using their cell towers as home internet. So I understand why Visible does this and why Verizon does this, is because if they allow people to use these $35, $45 plans for home internet where they're going to be streaming, gaming, all this kind of stuff constantly, if everybody starts doing that, then they're not going to be able to offer these plans for $35 and $45 because the network's not going to be able to keep up with that. It doesn't really matter how good your network is. You're going to have to upgrade your network. It's going to cost more to operate a network in that capacity if you let everybody do that. So when your plans are $25, $35, and $45, even the unlimited plans have to have, limits and stipulations. You can't just let people go willy-nilly do whatever they want. There's people that have used terabytes of data on T-Mobile test plans and stuff like that. If they allow that on these plans, it's going to ruin the experience for other people. So they have these limits in there. Now, that being said, I've been using mine just fine as, the average everyday person. I get in my car, I fire up Apple CarPlay, I use Maps on CarPlay, all that kind of stuff. All that works just great. I even use the hotspot to do a podcast, a live video podcast for about an hour with Jeff Springer over at Sammy Guru. The last podcast we did on his channel was done via my Visible Pro Plus or Visible Plus Pro hotspot using my iPhone and my iPad. So didn't have any issues there. He said the quality was great. The service was great. There were no drops or anything like that. So it works very well. But when people talk about it being unlimited, there's no limit as a sense that you have 50 gigs and then your service slows down, or 50 gigs and then it cuts off. There's no set limit. If you get up there and do about a terabyte from what I've heard, that's when Visible starts going, hey, okay, you're using too much. You're using more than 99% of the people on the plans. So if this happens again, we might have to take action. That's where I heard you get warned is about a terabyte. So I think they were slowing him down at 450 gigs because it was within 8 hours. Like I said, nobody should be using that on a monthly plan in an 8 hour period. That's, not even half the day. So that is quite unrealistic for, somebody to be complaining about that you're not getting uh, unlimited when you're doing crazy stuff like that. And he wasn't even using the data. He was just burning through it just to see when they would cut him off. And people are complaining that that's not unlimited data. So my experience, though, as a normal average person, doing some social media stuff like that on the plan, I haven't had any issues with it. I've had Visible Plus before this plan was introduced, and I didn't have any issues there. I am glad, though, that the Plus Pro plan does offer unlimited data on the 4G, 5G side of things as well, instead of just the ultra wideband, because there are times where I'll go through an area, and I've never even come close to I think the 50 gigs it was before, where that was, the premium data. But I'll go through an area where I don't have ultra wideband and I'm, watching YouTube or I'm streaming Apple Music or something like that. But other than that, I mean, I'm always on ultra wideband. I have the 5G set to always on and allow more data on 5G. So I don't have any issues with that. It's usually on the ultra wideband network when available. But I am glad to see that they just got rid of those limits and you get premium data everywhere. So that is the Visible Plus Pro plan. If you guys have any questions about it, let me know down in the comments. I'll answer them the best I can. I also do have the link down in the comments or down in the description where you get $20 off a month of service when you sign up via that link. So you can get the Plus Pro plan for $15 for a month and give it a try, see how you like it. Port your number over, whatever you want to do. Visible also does offer promos time to time that you can stack with that discount. So if they give you like a $15 off or $20 off, you can use that. You won't get service for free with the promos. They can't stack to make it free. You do have to pay a minimum of $5 a month when you have a promo deal stacked with something else. But it's good to try it out. It's a very, very good deal. I think you get a lot on the plans for being under $50 a month. And that $45 is taxes and fees. There's nothing else. It's $45 is what you're charged. So, I was paying $80 for T-Mobile on their best plan, and I feel like I get about the same thing on this plan with the ultra wideband, the hotspot. I didn't even get hotspot on T-Mobile, or not unlimited hotspot. It was limited to I think it was 10 gigs. So the fact that I have unlimited hotspot now, unlimited premium data on all their bands, and if you do like a SIM or you buy a phone from them, you get free overnight shipping. So the perks are definitely there, and I definitely recommend you do check out Visible. I think it is worthwhile, despite what people are saying about their limits on the unlimited. Take that with a grain of salt. Those people are not using a normal amount of data. But I'm Colin with Techout. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And as always, have a great day.